What does a world-renowned psychologist who's been married for over 30 plus years, helping millions of men, just people in general, become the best version of themselves, what does he know about a successful relationship? Well, in this video, we're gonna go over Jordan Peterson's top unofficial 5 rules to a successful marriage. Let's jump in.
You have someone to, well, it's like 2 ropes that are tangled together. It's stronger, especially during times of weakness. And you have 2 brains instead of 1. And that actually turns out to be really helpful when things are complicated. And it builds a solidity into your life and a reality into your life to have someone who's along with you on this very long voyage. And so I think that deepens your life in a way that isn't really possible with fragmentary relationships as a single person.
Definitely.
You're going to shackle yourself to someone who's just as imperfect as you are. And then the issue is you might be in a situation where you can actually negotiate, because you might think, well, there's some things about you that aren't going so right, and there's some things about me that aren't going so right, and we're bloody well stuck with the consequences for the next 50 years. So we can either straighten this out, or we can suffer through it for the next 5 decades. You learn through that wrestling. You know, like you learn where you're an idiot and where you should stop being, and vice versa. So that's the spiritual aspect of marriage. It's the fact that you have to contend with someone under all sorts of circumstances. Theoretically, is what would you say? It's a manner of promoting psychological, or you could say spiritual growth.
What you want to have in your marriage is, I would say, first and foremost, like a scrupulous honesty. And I don't just mean that you tell each other the truth, because you can be brutal with the truth. I mean the kind of honesty that's devoted towards thriving in love, you know? And you want to act nobly in your relationship. You want to be reliable and productive and generous and then if you're lucky, now and then, you might be happy. And you might have a clear enough conscience so that in those rare moments where you are truly happy, you can also enjoy it without guilt. And so you aim at something a lot higher than happiness, and then you welcome it if it deigns to land on you for brief moments of time.
I would say of all those, trust is the most crucial component, maybe followed by the ability to negotiate. The right person is someone you can negotiate with, because there's going to be differences between you and them. There's going to be differences in your approach. There should be, hopefully there'll be, because that means that the 2 of you are bringing different skill sets to bear on the problem. That means that you have a more diverse range of potential responses, which can be good, but also that there's going to be conflict. The issue then becomes, can you negotiate through the conflicts?
A tremendous amount more recently, when we were both recovering from very serious illnesses, is we had instituted a policy of regular dates. And probably 25 years ago, maybe longer, and that was at her impetus. I was resistant to the idea to begin with, but not for long. And yeah, and so to follow up on your comment, it's like, put in some bloody effort and get in the mood. Both of you, right? Both of you. Yeah.
Intimate time together at least once a week, and probably more like twice. And that has to be negotiated. And if you don't negotiate it, and if you don't make it a priority, then it won't happen in all likelihood. And then, well, then you don't have it. And that's a catastrophe, because there's not that many things in life that are, intrinsically, what would you say, engaging and meaningful and pleasurable, and also bonding, all of that. And if you let that go, then, well, part of you dies and part of the relationship dies, and well, then there's always the possibility of becoming attracted by alternative entanglements.
You're at each other's throats, good luck to you. I think it's roughly equivalent to having non-fatal cancer. It is not pleasant. It's a 10-year process, 15-year process. It'll cost you $250,000, and it'll tear a big chunk out of your life. And also, it will really disrupt your relationship with your kids. I mean, you might think, how stupid is it to shackle yourself to someone? It's like, it's stupid, man. There's no doubt about that. But compared to the alternatives, it's pretty damn good. Because without that shackling, there are things you will never, ever learn, because you'll avoid them. you can always leave. And if you can leave, then you don't have to tell each other the truth.
I want to get along perfectly with my partner. It's like, no, you probably don't. You just get bored, and then you go looking for trouble. And so you want a little bit of trouble in the relationship, and a little bit of mystery, and a little bit of combativeness, and the ability to exchange opinions.
Happy is a pretty low goal. I mean, first of all, there's going to be lots of times in your marriage where you are seriously not happy. And sometimes that's going to be because you're having conflict with your partner, but sometimes it's going to be because all hell's broken loose around you. And then if you judge the success of your marriage on your happiness, then the same thing happens if you judge your success in life on the basis of your happiness. What do you have when it's nothing but suffering? And that's going to be plenty of your life.
She'll say things that are so outrageous that, well, it usually makes me laugh. It's like in an intense fight, she'll say like 3 of the worst insults you could possibly imagine, and it'll make me laugh. And it's hard sometimes to deal with her because of this more aggressive element. But it was also something that really attracted me towards her because she's no pushover, and she's got this she's got a kind of a knife-like sense of humor that comes out quite often. And so I really like the combative element to it. And that's part of what keeps a relationship dynamically alive.
The one thing I love about Dr. Peterson is that he takes these very esoteric, grand concepts and he makes you just see it a different way. And having been in this space for, I don't even know how long, 10 plus years, a decade, I think one thing I learned about this video was the first part I showed you guys, which is, how marriage makes you become the best version of yourself. And on this channel, we're all about becoming the best version of yourself to have the best relationship. And much like being the best version of yourself helps you have a good relationship, that relationship makes you become the best version of yourself. Because as he said before, there's something about being with a woman where she points out all your deepest insecurities and limitations. And you can only expose those and then work on them and improve them by being in a successful long-term relationship. I see countless amount of times that there's guys that they go from one relationship to the next. And they're able to just consistently blame women, right? Oh, women she's too entitled or this or that. But yet the only thing they have in common with the woman they date is them. And that's the same with you. The only thing you have in common with the woman you are with is yourself. And so if there's reasons why your relationships are falling apart, you have to look back at yourself. Whenever you point, there's 3 fingers pointing back at you. If you're currently struggling in your marriage or your relationship, and you want to be the best version of yourself, you want to find peace in your home, you want to have that passion, that intimacy back in your life. You guys are just best friends, and it's just you're traveling the world together, and you're just becoming the best versions of yourself. If that's something that you do desire, and you've been struggling with finding out what the core problems are, that's when you can work with me and my team personally. What you can do right now is click the link down below, set up a free call. We can assess your marriage to see what is going on in the relationship, to figure out how to improve it to get her back if she's pulling away. Thank you for watching the video. I highly suggest you watch this video right here on the 3 top guys that really ruin relationships and are guaranteed to get a divorce. It's kind of related to this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.